Good morning. Namaste. Namaste. So this morning, I want to wade into some pretty controversial waters. Challenge some constructs. The more we awaken into the absolute divine nature of what we truly are, our eternal self, the more we can see the nature of the dream, the nature of the thing we call me that isn't really me. This thing you call you isn't you. This thing that you call you, that runs everything, that makes the choices and fears this and doubts that and is addicted to this and needs that and desires validation and love and it's not you. It's a you that you've constructed. It's a complex algorithm, programming of thoughts and beliefs that we refer to as me. What we are is an eternal, beautifully tuned soul, a uniquely tuned soul that is here to be an instrument of love. So that love...
My web search turned something up.
That's my Siri responding for some reason. Love, the one love, wants to know itself through the infinite tunings of all these beautiful souls. So the one love can know itself in the infinite potentiality. And one soul is tuned to be a gardener, and one soul is tuned to be a chef, and one soul is tuned to be a mathematician, or to send rockets into space, or to sing, write poetry. And this beautifully, perfectly tuned soul is here to be an instrument of the one love, to play through it. But we've created a self in our own mind. It's like a mirage. And one can say, yeah, but it's real. My stories are really there. Yeah, and a mirage is really there. The mirage, you see it. A mirage is real. It's there. There's a mirage. I can see it. It's real. But what is a mirage really? It's a hallucination. It's a distortion. It is a distortion. We have created a self in our own minds that we listen to. And it says, but what about me? But what will happen to me? When we come to a place where we are in pure devotion to truth, to the eternal nature of our uniquely tuned, beautiful soul, and allowing the love to play through that soul, that is the following of love. That is the devotion to the divine. That is the possibility to the real answering to the possibility of playing fully in this beautiful life that we have, to express love in the way that it expresses through our uniquely tuned soul. And meanwhile, there's a story of self that we've created over years, that we've layered through our wounding and our stories and our beliefs and what our father said, what our mother said, what society said, and we've utilized all that to create a self that isn't real. This is the devil and the angel on the shoulder. The angel's the soul saying, follow love, And this is the devil saying, but it's scary. It's not scary to the soul. It is scary to the story. The story's still going to be there. I mean, it's like a mirage. It's still there. Just we can choose not to believe it any longer. We can choose to walk right through it. We see it. We feel it. We hear it with all of its stories and all of its conditioning and all of its whatabouts and what ifs. But ultimately, this is why we practice our meditations. This is why we practice pointing our awareness beyond the story to see what's really there, eternally, profoundly, deeply, wholly. The true essence of being. We are not the story. We are not the conditioning. Those came into being as a placeholder because when we were toddlers and we started to get a sense of I, this seems to be an I. A mom, a dad, a dog, and a houseplant, and an I. What am I? And we didn't know the truth. We didn't have the ability to cognitively recognize the soul that we are. And so we created a self. We constructed a self based on evidence, false evidence. And now that self continues to arise and try to get our attention and project its fears into our life. And even its desires. But if it's its desires, the ego-driven, the constructed self-desires, those desires are typically to fill a sense of lack, to fill a sense of not being loved, to be safe. I desire this because it'll make me, this construct, safe. The true desires, the soul's desires, are already built in. They're already there. My desire is to teach. My desire is to share. My desire is to guide toward truth, toward love, toward soul, toward God. That's how my soul is tuned. And when I listened to that, I'm moved in a particular way. And then the what ifs come up. And recently, this has been so powerful, the what if. What if that turns, like I have a sense of what freedom is to me, to the story of me. And a thought comes up, a feeling comes up, a belief comes up that says, if there is great abundance of success in this work that I do, my life might become complicated in ways that restrict my freedom. And when I finally came to the place of saying, you know what, I'm just not going to listen anymore to that. I'm not going to be devoted anymore to my story. Those fears, what will happen to my freedom? That my, that me, that I is a complete fabrication. If I listen to soul and devote myself to the divine love that wants to play through this beautiful soul, I follow where that goes. And whatever the consequences, whatever the impacts of that, whatever conditions arise out of following that soul, my soul is willing to play in that arena, to play with whatever arrives. I'm just not interested any longer to listening to and being driven by a mirage. That's insanity. So there's a passion you feel in this today. It's that beautiful aliveness that says, I'm done. I'm not gonna, it'll still present itself. I'll still hear it. Yeah, but what if? And what if? And what if? And the soul says, we will meet that as it comes. All I know is that I am completely devoted to the divine truth, to the divine love that wants to play through this unique tuning of soul. Let's see where that leads. And the first place it'll lead is up to the edge of a conditioned self and its stories and its fears and its doubts. So I'm going to meet that edge by being more interested in the truth, in the divine nature of being, and in that love, and answering that love. That is where my devotion is. I'm no longer devoted to a story. There's a passage, I'm not a student of the Bible, but there's a passage I believe that says, thou shalt not honor or worship a false idol or a false god. And I believe what that means is thou shalt not honor and thou shalt not follow a false self. An idol we've made out of our conditioning, out of our construct of self. And we idolize it, we listen to it, we let it run us. That is the worshiping of a false god. Blessings, my friends. May your awakening, your realizing of your true self become so alive and vibrant and whole and trusted that you can follow your faith, you can follow your soul's tuning, you can listen and hear true love moving through you, and it will lead you to the fears of your construct. It will lead you to the fears of your story, to the doubts of your story, to the uncertainty of your story. Just notice it, recognize it. This is what self-love is to be in such love with the truth of what you are that you can learn to turn and meet your own conditioning and not vilify it and not need to make it go away, but just to watch it and say, I know you're scared, mirage. I know the story is scared. I'm not my story. I am my beautiful soul's tuning, abiding love. And the story arises, yeah, but what if? And you just turn to it and say, this is just words speaking out of a mirage of self, out of a constructed self. I'm not listening anymore. I'm following love. I'm abiding love. While the story is afraid, I'm following love. And little by little, the story just lets go and lets go and lets go and lets go because you're not listening to it anymore. I love you. Blessings. Namaste.
If you like this video and you'd like to see similar content, please subscribe to my channel. You can also click that like button down below, and that's going to make this video more available to more people. Also, visit me at my website, chessedwards.com. There's a link to that down below. There you are going to find valuable resources for living a conscious, peaceful, and powerful life. Also, there's going to be information there about how to work with me one-on-one and how to build your own 3-day custom private immersion retreat with me right here in Sedona. As well as information about upcoming group retreats, virtual retreats, and so much more. And I got a few free gifts for you. Thanks for watching.